marks ka syllabus out of 40. Also, we are, if I look at what is remaining, it is determination of income and employment and balance of payments. These are 2 units that would be left that we'll do after your subjective assessments are over. Coming to Indian economic development, the first unit is, this is chapter 1, 2, and 3, development experience and current economic reforms, sorry. So if you remember, we spoke of India at the eve of independence, then we spoke of Indian economy from 1950 to 1990, and then we did economic reforms. वो तीनों chapter taken together will be for 12 marks. Then we are currently doing this unit, which is current challenges facing Indian economy. I'll scroll down for your reference. Wait a second. Here. This is the next unit of current challenges facing Indian economy. So we've covered poverty, we've discussed human capital formation, we've covered rural development. These are the 3 lessons that we've done. For your upcoming assessment, we plan to include employment and infrastructure also. So what exactly will be your syllabus effectively? It will be national income and related aggregates, money and banking, government budget from macro, and from Indian economy, it will be from chapters 1 to 8. ये कोर्स है, मैं आपको बताती हूँ मैं क्या करूँगी. I will finish sustainable economic development also in the month of September. That is my plan. So my intention is to complete this entire unit of current challenges facing Indian economy. आपके assessment में infrastructure तक ही आएगा. Any thoughts so far? Any questions?
Can you repeat Indian economics syllabus, ma'am?
Arnav, this will be from chapter 1 to chapter 8.
In the half yearly.
हाँ जी, जो अभी सितंबर एंड में होगा.
मैम 50 मार्क्स के एग्जाम में इतना कुछ?
Yeah. Okay. I understand the sarcasm, but yes. कोई नहीं, पढ़ लो इसी बहाने आपको.
I got one doubt.
हाँ जी.
मैम इन ह्यूमन कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन, मैम जैसे इसमें लिखा है कि मैम इसमें मैम एजुकेशनल सेक्टर इन इंडिया नहीं लिखा, तो हम वो नहीं आ रहा ना फिर.
अर्नब, उसमें वी स्किप्ड वन पोर्शन. एक सेकंड मैं आपको दिखाती हूँ. जस्ट अ सेकंड. Alright, I'll tell you क्या नहीं आ रहा है. When you're talking about educational sector in India, आप ये नहीं करोगे. 5.6 नहीं करना है हमको. This entire we are not doing. 5.7 पे clarity नहीं है. So we've spoken to different teachers as to what are they doing. Some of them are doing 5.7. Some of them are not doing 5.7. अगर आप देखो 5.7 is a very small and very general portion. कर लोगे तो थोड़ा advantage रहेगा कि you're not at risk. 5.6 definitely नहीं करना है because they've explicitly mentioned as a deletion. 5.7 पे there's not much clarity. So just to be on the safer side, just give a read to 5.7. Anyone else who has any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in my book there is an inflation chapter in between employment and infrastructure.
Then that is not NCERT, no? Spanish is it?
Sandeep,
never mind. No, inflation is not our lesson. It was briefly included without any guidelines, but we're not doing inflation. Aryan, as for handwritten
there
notes,
is infrastructure.
Hanji, so we'll be doing employment and then we'll move to infrastructure. Infrastructure तक आपका course है. I will try to cover sustainable development also, ताकि पूरा हमारा यूनिट खत्म हो जाए. लेकिन sustainable development एग्जाम में नहीं आएगा. Mayank, I think Vinita ma'am would have spoken about 10 marks for your MCQs and rest being your subjective paper. So where you, if it's a small question, you'll be typing your response. If it's a long answer question, you'll be writing in. Sorry about it, but you'll be clicking a decent picture and uploading it. Just because it is a little time consuming, your time limit is also 2.5 hours. All right, help me understand for Aryan, help me with this. I remember sharing notes for chapters 1, 2, and 3. Have I shared beyond
Yes, ma'am.
those 3 chapters? Have I shared
Ma'am, you
notes?
sent poverty notes.
All right, I've sent poverty also. एक बारी बस इतना काम कर दो, कोई देखकर बता देना कौन से रह गए हैं. I will also have to arrange. I remember I have rural development. I don't think I've shared rural development with you. I'll update that material column for rural development. Chalo, never mind. I will check and I will update. No need to revisit. Aryan, I will keep that in mind. Mayank, for the course for macro, I am looking at national income accounting. I am looking at money and banking and government budget. Anyone else who has any question that I've not addressed?
हम इंडियन इकोनॉमी हमारा मैम कितने मार्क्स का आएगा?
कितने मार्क्स का इस पेपर में?
Yes, ma'am.
If the paper is for 50 marks, Anna, we'll be dividing it as 25-25. And the plan for all the teachers is to give
Okay, ma'am.
your syllabus a bit more. अगर आप बाकियों का भी देखोगे, everyone will have a little more than what you have in mind. Bhavishya, I'm so sorry about that, but see how much can you cover and how much can you practice. Pranay, for money and banking में क्या cut है? Alright, if you have those external books, they will have a lot of content. Let me take you to my syllabus. Alright, money and banking में करना है, बस इतना ensure करना that this is what you are covering. Oh, sorry, I did not change my screen. Here. So while you're preparing for money and banking, ensure that you know the definition of money and the money supply. Money supply में हम सिर्फ M1 तक अपने आप को restrict करते हैं. Money lesson का course बहुत कम है. So I think in your book there's just 1 or 2 page का chapter. Next you come to banking. Banking में आपको क्या पता होना चाहिए? You should know commercial banks का सिर्फ meaning पता होना चाहिए आपको. Then we're talking about credit creation. Credit creation happens to be an important topic from different aspects. One, I can give you a question about how do commercial banks create credit. तो आप पूरा मेरे को वो table समझाओगे, where we were talking about legal reserve ratio. We spoke of initial deposit and how that goes on increasing and how my money multiplies from an initial deposit. That entire process has to be explained. Another way of asking a question from this can be where I give you a numerical. So I give you legal reserve ratio. I ask you to find the money multiplier, or I can ask true and false. So I can ask what will, say 1 is the minimum value that money multiplier can take, true or false. So you attempt that. Out of credit creation, I can ask too many questions. Also happens to be an important chapter because this is directly applicable in our lives as well. All right, from this is for commercial bank. फिर हम central bank पर भी आएंगे. Central bank में, yes, Mayank, our pattern for economics is 1, 3, 4, 6. जो conventional हमारा board paper का pattern होता है. So that means I can have a 1 marker, 3 marker, 4 marker, 6 marker. So your entire blueprint, I'll try to bring it down. 100 का paper, I'll bring it down to 50 with combinations of these scores.
Ma'am, could you please repeat what all is coming in Indian Eco?
Indian Eco, Muskan chapters 1 to 8, if you have your book around.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
अच्छा सॉरी, आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट कमर्शियल, आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट सेंट्रल बैंक. सेंट्रल बैंक में आपको क्या पता होना चाहिए? वन, यू शुड नो द मीनिंग. नेक्स्ट, यू शुड नो द फंक्शंस ऑफ सेंट्रल बैंक. फंक्शंस ऑफ सेंट्रल बैंक इन इटसेल्फ बिकम्स एन इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक. मैं कोई भी फंक्शन उठा सकती हूँ और आपको कह सकती हूँ एक्सप्लेन दिस फंक्शन ऑफ सेंट्रल बैंक, and that can be a 4 marker or a 3 marker. So while you're preparing for functions of central bank, ensure that you've understood it so much that you can write a 4 marker ka answer for each function. Similarly, objectives of budget जब हमने बात करी थी, यहाँ पे objectives of budget, we discussed different objectives. I can pick any one objective and I can ask you to write or explain that objective. If you see, you'll have less content in terms of objectives. जिस हिसाब से क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते हैं, 4 मार्कर में भी आ जाता है ऑब्जेक्टिव, 6 में भी आ जाता है. So once you're explaining your objective, see to it that you add as many relevant examples as you can so that you justify 6 marks, just in case it comes for 6. Any other question that you would want me to address?
Ma'am, the question would ask to explain all the objectives or any one or two.
Shashank, generally the pattern or the previous year's papers have asked for one specific objective. So maybe I can ask explain reallocation of resources and objective of government budget, and I give this as a 6 marker. जो हमारी 10th क्लास में या फिर बिजनेस स्टडीज में अगर आपकी ये अप्रोच होती है कि 8 पॉइंट्स है, कोई भी 6 लर्न कर लेते हैं, that will not work here because I can be very specific about a point that I want to know. I hope you're not doing that in business also, but we can be very specific with respect to points. So there's no scope of leaving anything at all.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, one last thing, if no one wants to talk about anything else, I'll address this concern raised by Bhavishya about course being too much. If possible, please take it as an opportunity of revision, since we've been meeting since March and we've not really had any formal assessment. Taking assessments on Google form is a very objective kind of an assessment, doesn't really provide a true picture of how much we've understood or how much can we present in our own words. If just in case you think this is too much and you're unable to manage, what you can do is you strategize. For example, if you think that, all right, I cannot finish this entire course, God forbid if it comes to that, then you prioritize कि ठीक है, macro अगर मैं कर रही हूँ तो मैं अभी पहले अच्छे से macro ही कर लूँगी, so that these 3 units that we have for macro, these should be completely clear to you people. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि अगर मैं next time exam लेती हूँ फिर आपको हो गया कि अच्छा मुझे government budget starting से पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Do it so well that next time I ask a question from government budget, you just need say an hour of revision and not more than that. Do not focus on quantity, focus on quality, just in case you think you won't be able to complete the entire syllabus. जो भी कर रहे हो ऐसा करना कि next time you just need to revise, you don't need to start from the scratch. All right. Just in case any other thought comes to your mind, anything that you want to ask, feel free to raise a concern. For now, we'll talk about employment. I'll share my screen. Whenever we've spoken about any lesson for current challenges in our economy, we've always started with discussing why do we consider that as a challenge. If I look at the name of the lesson, we're looking at employment, growth, informalization, and other issues. Why exactly do you think we're studying employment? Next, why are we studying it as a part of current challenges? Just share any thoughts. पढ़ना ही क्यों है और यहाँ पे क्यों पढ़ना है?
Ma'am, it's a major concern because of the population of India. A lot of people are not employed and there is also a lot of disguised employment.
taken. Anyone else who wants to add anything?
Ma'am, yesterday I read an article that unemployment in India has climbed up in August, and almost every one person per 10 persons remains unemployed.
Ma'am, employment is a necessary uh, component of any economy. Make any country successful or even stable, employment rates should be at par with the population. And India has high population, but not that that number of jobs.
Ma'am,
Hanji?
the government, invest in people, ma'am, by through healthcare and education, and ma'am, in the end, if the people are unemployed, ma'am, then that investment goes in vain.
Taken. Everything accepted. If you look at the current figures, taken Punita accepted that you're talking about increasing
Excuse me,
employment. Hanji bolo.
ma'am, we read in human development, if I'm not wrong, that the government is providing education and healthcare for the welfare of people, but they are not expecting anything from them in return. So
Which
isn't
concept
this
is Shashank? I understood. Which concept is Shashank talking about?
human development?
You talk about human development. We're not saying that the government is focusing on human development, or are they focusing on human capital. When we discussed human development, we purely said that these are two broad categories of concepts that we have in eco. So when you're looking at human development, you're talking about working on the lives of the people so that they're we're simply looking at a good quality life for every individual. Human capital talks about investing in these people so that they can provide some returns either for themselves or for the society or for the country. At no point will we think that the government is only focusing on human development. If you're looking at human development, it will come from some sort of human capital. It has to be there. You cannot look at human development in isolation.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. If you see, lately there are too many articles and too many discussions happening about the drop in the quarter one GDP, or you looking at how India is facing a worse underemployment scenario, and how the unemployment scenario, and how the youth is struggling to find a decent job for themselves. These are difficult times. So if you read any article, whatever be your political leaning, keep an objective view as well. Simply saying, when you're looking at, say, this 23.9% ka drop that people are talking about in GDP, and then they're criticizing the political party, and then they're bringing in their vested interest. As an objective person, also look at the scenario in which you are measuring the GDP. Also look at the conditions in which people are living. So we've not many people have gone through a pandemic. Not many people have encountered such a situation. So while you read your articles, just keep an objective mind, saying कि ठीक है, अगर ये हुआ भी है, though it's a bad thing, though it could have been averted, or these figures could have been a little less disturbing somehow if certain policies would have come in. But let's not solely look at GDP data there. This is just for some discussion that I saw yesterday. It was a very skewed and biased discussion. All right, looking at employment, as many of you've spoken how you're looking at providing opportunities, looking at eradicating poverty, so that you can simply say the basic idea of getting an employment is getting yourself a decent livelihood, a source of livelihood, so that you can earn, you can have a decent lifestyle. And we're talking about employment because the conditions of our country have not really been conducive to the population that we have. So you have too many people entering the workforce annually, but we do not have corresponding jobs for them. If we do not have jobs, how exactly are we looking at providing these people a source of livelihood without making them a burden on the government, without also making them question their ability? All of that is what we're looking at when we're talking about the challenge of employment in our country. I will stop sharing this. I would want you चलो ठीक है, यही कर लेते हैं, यहीं से करते हैं. The lesson's name also talks about growth and informalization. Growth will be how opportunities have increased over a period of time, if they have, and if they have increased, where exactly have they increased and at what rate. Informalization will talk about how the nature of employment has changed over a period of time. So if I take you back to class 10, we spoke of organized and unorganized sector, if you remember. There has been a trend where organized sector entities have been now converting themselves into unorganized sector entities, and the jobs are also being a little informalized. So we'll be talking about this movement from organized sector to unorganized sector and how has the workforce been affected. All of that comes here. All right. The introduction is very basic. It simply talks about why exactly do people work? Why do we need to ensure that people are engaged in some sort of activity? Let's do one thing. Just read the first page. It has a brief introduction, but there's one aspect I would want to discuss. So please read this once and then we talk about this.
Done, ma'am.
Anyone who is still reading? All right. This last paragraph that I've highlighted, it is talking about how studying about the working people gives us insight into certain areas. Think about one. It talks about quality and nature of employment. What exactly are we looking at when we say quality of employment? How are we judging quality of employment?
Ma'am, by salary or the work being taken, nature of the job.
What nature of the job, Shivam?
Ma'am, the usual stereotype says that the intellectual jobs, the management, higher level jobs are comparatively considered upside than physical jobs like labor and the farm jobs.
All right, taken. We can look at this bifurcation, or we can also broadly you're talking when we're looking at quality and nature of employment, we're looking at organized sector jobs and unorganized sector jobs. So if I'm looking at manual work happening, largely that's a part of unorganized and informal sector. If I'm looking at some MNC job, which people run after, very often goes as a formal sector job. Looking at the working population, you get an idea as to how many jobs are being created in each of the sector. It also talks about here, looking at social issues. If you dig deeper in the unorganized sector, you will see different issues that come up there. One pertaining issue that we're trying to fight since a very long time goes as child labor. Another issue which is there in organized as well as unorganized is the issue of pay parity. So if I'm looking at myself, if I look at a counterpart, a male counterpart, for some reason, it happens to be the case that the male counterpart is paid more than the female employee doing the same work, having the same qualification. There can also be cases where the women are more educated and more experienced. They still are not paid at par with the men. Why do you think that happens?
Ma'am, the age-long gender stereotype.
Any other reason? Anyone else who can contribute to this discussion?
Because of the patriarchal society.
Okay. Patriarchy runs deep in our system.
Ma'am, because they think men work more than women. Even
if
though it
they
is
don't.
not true, yes, ma'am.
Also, they believe that women cannot raise their voice much against these practices.
Ma'am, women are married at an early age, and when they are married, the husband does not allow women to study, or they don't have the money to make both the child study. In one house, if you have a girl and a boy, the father prefers in the village for the boy to study.
Kanishika goes as an implication of patriarchy, but very well put. One thing that you said, and oh sorry, it triggers me. However, it is true that men don't allow women to do certain things. It has always bothered me as to how can someone put themselves in a position where you allow. And this runs well deep into our society where either women are not given opportunities. If they're given opportunities, they're made to feel that, all right, this is a favor that we're extending to you. Another thing, one reason why we are not paid or women are not paid at par with the men, because of the bias the employers have. Very often people end up saying that the man has to take care of the family, has children to look after, have wives to look after. For women, they basically consider that already you're working for luxury, or you don't really have to take care of the family, you're purely working because you're bored at home. This is one approach that people have. Hence they say that, all right, since the men are looking after the family, we'll pay them more. Since you are simply working for whatever purpose, without, since you don't have much responsibility, we'll pay you less. Another implication of patriarchy. Give me an answer to this logic.
Although women work more hours than the man do.
Tell me how will you react if the employer says that I'm paying your male counterpart more because he has a family? And all right, if this happens to me and someone says that, Miss Bajaj, you are unmarried, you don't have a family to look after, so we're paying you less. How do you think shall I respond? ठीक है? चलता है?
No, ma'am. That won't be the correct response. You should protest against that and go on a strike in language of Gandhiji.
Okay. Give me an answer for this logic. What is my answer here? What?
Ma'am, you are being paid not for the use to which you are going to put the money, but you should be paid because of the work you are doing in a particular place.
Ma'am, you should retaliate, you should raise your voice, and you should, aware others as well about this prevailing issue.
Ma'am, this is actually application of power. in this situation which we are currently talking about, the employer has all the power. So he can pretty much do whatever he wants. However, we have media now. Media has some power too. So we can actually take help of the media to get this issue some heat and some hype, and I guess that will do the work here.
Ma'am, one person can do anything against the employer, but as I said, if you will aware others as well about this issue, then maybe a lot of people might, might dominate that employer, and that this will change his decision.
Ma'am, the logic is not correct because you are getting paid on the basis of your hard work, not your family is not doing your work. So it doesn't matter if you have to take care of your family or not. You are doing for yourself. You have to earn money for yourself.
Everyone comes as an individual, not as taking the responsibilities of the family. Everyone should be treated equally. So I think you should raise the voice and go to the labor court, file a case.
Ma'am, what I think is that this won't be the case when we will get on in the world as workforce, because then the competition will be that high that nothing else will count except your skills and your caliber. It won't really matter if you're a boy or girl. That is like orthodox mentality. If you are working in those type of organizations which still support orthodox mentality, then I think that will be a barricade in our own growth too.
All right. I'm so glad I heard all that. Just one thing, when I gave that example, please don't think that I'm being exploited. It's just in case anyone had that in mind that I'm being exploited. I am not being exploited. It's not easy to exploit me. So, all right. Everything taken, one argument that really was also my argument, which I had in mind, was where you're not really comparing the family situations. You're not really supposed to see what is my family obligation versus what is your family obligation. We're simply comparing the work that one person is doing. So if I'm working for an hour and you're paying me hourly, you're similarly supposed to pay the same wage rate to another man who's doing the same work for an hour. You're comparing us on the basis of the work or the caliber that we have. There's no point getting personal and seeing what the other person's obligations are. The moment you bring in the obligation aspect, that is when you are looking at certain biases also coming in. Another bias that is very often ignored in economics, and this is another matter of debate, as to how we are not including the non-economic work done by the women in the households in GDP. So if I look at my mom, how she's managing the entire household, how she's ensuring that everything in the house is at its place, and she's actually the home manager. Very often this role is taken up by ladies in their households, and men, I've not seen many households where it is the men's responsibility to ensure that, say, the clothes are being washed and are put together, or the food is being served, etc., etc. The work done by women there, that is also not accounted for. Chalo, accounted for, when I say, I purely am talking in terms of money. Let's not just go to money also. Let's also say that we don't even acknowledge that work that women do. So very often we say we end up just assuming that the other person is sitting idle at home and is not really contributing much. So your patriarchal approach starts at your own household. The moment you fail to acknowledge the work and the effort that your mothers are putting in maintaining the smooth functioning of housework. So what I'm trying to say is that you have the systemic functioning of this entire setup against women starting from household. We discuss the we discuss technical aspects from tomorrow. I would want you people just to give it a thought and see if you acknowledge the work being done at home, and if you also, like Shashank was saying, talking about awareness. How about we also start increasing awareness for the work that our mothers are doing selflessly 24/7. For now, I'll leave you with this thought. I'm posting the question of attendance. Please mark your attendance. We meet tomorrow and we continue.
Sure, ma'am. Good day.
Ma'am, I had a doubt in the
Please ask.
macro part, government budget. The fiscal deficit, the deficit's implications are in course or not?
They are
I
not explicitly mentioned in course, but they come as one markers. So for
Yes,
instance,
ma'am.
they
The
can ask,
formulas and numericals.
Hanji, formula numericals can also come. They can also ask what exactly does fiscal deficit mean. So that can be your definition, or they can talk about why is it. All right, there was this one question in a sample paper 2-3 years ago where it was saying that running a fiscal deficit is always a bad thing. Comment, refute or defend the statement. Now you cannot defend or refute the statement if you do not know the implications of fiscal deficit.
Yes, ma'am.
So do the fiscal deficit, do the implications, because if they don't directly ask, they can make a hot question out of it, and then that can bother us.
Okay, ma'am. And in the UTs, in our school UTs, it will come as a one marker or as a hot, मतलब.
अच्छा, इशिका मैं पेपर ही ना दे दूं आपको.
Ma'am, basically you said implications hot बन के आ सकती है, बोर्ड में आएंगी.
सैम्पल पेपर में तो था once.
मैम हमारा स्कूल मतलब implications को consider कर रहा है कि नहीं, वही पूछा था बस.
We generally try to stay away from implications because they're not explicitly mentioned in the course.
Okay, ma'am.
I will still recommend कि आप एक बारी वो पढ़ोगे, लेकिन
Yes, ma'am.
your answer automatically becomes better if you know the implications of the